Today we are going to be going over 5 newer fragrance releases that will be remembered forever. So essentially, my personal opinion is that these are going to really kind of find their footing in the community, and they're going to do well for years to come. And I think there's certain things about a fragrance that will kind of help it to do that, help it along. And just to name off a few examples of what I'm talking about, that would be stuff like Dior Homme Intense, be something like Dior Sauvage, pick any of the other blue fragrances, Bleu de Chanel, things like that. They're fragrances that most people will know about and have heard of, and so on. Acqua di Gio, the original, another example. And sure, maybe some of these won't reach the superstar level of something like the original Acqua di Gio and Bleu de Chanel, but you get my idea. They're things that I think are going to do very well because they have that little special something about them that will help make them kind of stand out and remain prevalent in the community. And by newer, I mean within the past few years. A few of these are brand new releases this year that have been really good and I think do have that potential, but a couple others have been out for a year or two now. Just in general, some newer things that I think will really start to take off in the following years once they hit discounters and remain consistently in stock. And so I'll drop links to these down below, and if you want to pick them up, you could shop through there and get them at prices below retail. I want to get it kicked off with a new release this year, and this one's perfect for summertime. So if you're wanting something that's going to be more warm weather appropriate, but with a little bit of a twist, this is one you can go for. And I do think it has the potential to do very well and go very far, but there's one caveat, and I'll tell you about that in a second. It's Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Platine Prive. Super pumped about this one. As soon as I saw it released and I saw the note breakdown, I had a feeling of what it was going to be, and that turned out to be correct. This is kind of bringing back the L'Homme Ideal Cologne DNA and the L'Homme Ideal Cool DNA, both of which are discontinued and very hard to find. And Cologne was really starting to ramp up, and actually it's unfortunate, but it was kind of at the peak of its hype when it got discontinued and got super hard to get. I mean, it was really a snowball effect with that one. It was catching on. People were talking about it left and right. It was getting featured a lot. I think a lot of us gained some sort of respect for that scent. It was really good for the price, and then they completely just took it away from us. Years later, this DNA is back out again. It's got grapefruit, almond, neroli, some musk in here. It's a summertime version of the L'Homme Ideal DNA, and it smells absolutely beautiful. It is a stunning scent for this time of year. Now, the caveat I was talking about was that this is marketed as a limited edition. I don't know why they do this. I don't know why they can't keep this around like they do with the Eau de Parfum and the Extreme, and even for the longest time, Sport, which I think everyone would prefer this in Cologne and Cool over Sport, but they left that one and took the good ones away from us. So I digress. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know in terms of limited edition how long that's going to be. I don't know the time frame, and who knows, maybe they would change their mind and pull that back and continue to produce it or re-release it again. I don't know, but I do think this DNA very much has the potential to go very far if they were to give it a chance. Come on, Guerlain, please. This next one is a niche scent from MANCERA. This is a new release as of last year, maybe this year. Can't remember, actually. It's MANCERA TONKA Cola. Now this one has Coca-Cola. There's some cherry in here, very unique as well. A little bit of vanilla going on, some cinnamon as well. It smells fantastic. And the way I describe this one is that it's their take on the Roja Enigma DNA. However, it does differ very much from Roja Enigma or Creation E, same thing. It does have a little bit of that fizziness going on. It does have truly that Coca-Cola type of smell, which Roja Creation E Enigma also has. However, the differences are going to be that the Roja is still a little bit more upscale, a little bit more classy. It's also using a lot of tobacco and boozy notes. This one does not have the tobacco, doesn't have the booziness. Instead, it really hones in on that cherry, Coca-Cola, cinnamon, vanilla, Tonka vibe going on to make it a little bit more versatile, in my opinion, a little bit more playful without going too far, and maybe even a bit more mass-pleasing. And also, when you look at the pricing, there is a huge difference. 120 ml bottles of this are going for right around 112, and you know, Roja Creation E, even the Parfum Cologne, is expensive, $250, $240, something like that. So there's a big difference here. Regardless, I think now that Tonka Cola is finally available relatively consistently at discounters, I think it has the potential to do very well and go far, especially after we get a few more fall and winter seasons in. Summertime, this is going to go dormant. It's not going to be talked about and worn, but I think a couple more years of fall and wintertime cool weather, I think this has the potential to really start to take off. Next up, we have Le Male ELIXIR, brand new release this year. I do think this one especially is going to do very well. I mean, look at the past history. Ultra Male, it was a big hit. Le Male Parfum, it was a big hit. The original Le Male, big hit. What else? Le Male, Superman, Eau Fresh, Popeye, Eau Fresh, two big hits. They're the same scent, it's just the bottle packaging was different, but big fragrances. I think they have an idea of what works and they have the blueprint down pat. And I wouldn't be lying if I said that this was one of their best releases so far. It is phenomenal. Now this has honey, there's some tobacco in here, of course some vanilla, some tonka bean. Kind of fits into that Xerjoff Naxos DNA with that dusty kind of powdery honey tobacco, but it also does its own thing. It's separated from that. It still has some of that Le Male DNA. It's a little bit more versatile, again, a little bit more designer level because it is a designer scent. And I think for people who maybe find that Naxos is too rich, they really might like Le Male ELIXIR because this smells amazing. It even has a little bit of that Le Male Parfum kind of vanillic smell going on. This is a fantastic one that I think once it hits discounters, once you can get it easily, and again, once we get a few winter seasons here in the future, this I think is going to really kind of put its footprint in the community. And not to mention the bottle, the presentation is a huge upgrade. This one has everything that it needs to have to become a complete star. Now, this next one has already gained a pretty substantial amount of recognition, but I do think it has the potential to go even farther. It is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever. So it has grapefruit, ozonic notes, violet leaf, a little bit of musk in here, vetiver. It is basically all about the grapefruit though. The grapefruit, very strong, very potent, sour, realistic. The violet leaf gives off a bit of a watery feel. The ozonic notes gives off this crisp, light airiness. Nice complementary notes here. And so this is going to be for citrus lovers through and through. If you don't like citrus, this is not the one for you. A little interesting rhyme sequence there. That was completely unintentional, but I'll take it. But that really is the truth with this one. There's been definitely mixed reviews. A lot of people who bought this one blindly didn't like it because the grapefruit is no joke. It is a very realistic, punchy, strong, sour grapefruit. Not for everybody. That being said, it does bring a lot to the table, especially when we're talking uniqueness from a designer brand, especially Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, the line, which has been going downhill ever since Oh Intense, believe it or not, in my opinion. I mean, you have things like Italian Zest, Love is Love, a few others that are completely forgettable that just didn't really bring much to the table. Oh Intense was by far their best flanker release, and then from there, they just started to really get boring. But Forever has brought it back, same with Italian Love, and I think they can do very well in the future. Okay, next up, Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé. Now, this one has iris. There's going to be some chestnut, some whiskey, a little bit of a chocolatey feel. It is the Gentleman Eau de Parfum DNA amped up big time with a little bit of a booziness and a gourmand nature from the chestnut, which smells amazing. That is one of my favorite underutilized notes, chestnut. It's used in stuff like Stronger With You, Intensely, Absolutely, the original. Actually, it skipped Intensely. The original, Absolutely, and maybe a couple others. Also in something like Replica by the Fireplace. It's not used a lot, but when it's used, it's distinct and it really adds character to the scent, especially with this one. And I'm sure I've said this before in the past with a lot of fragrances, but for me, it's always when I'm thinking about what a brand can do to put out a flanker for something, I go, you know what? They could add a little bit of a boozy note to that scent and it would smell really good. It seems to be a common trend. I really like my boozy scents. I think it can take them far. I don't know for sure if I said that about the Gentleman DNA or not. It's possible. I know I've said it about many other things, But they did it here with this one, and this is proof that it really works. It gives it an extra layer of depth and complexity. The whiskey chestnut in here is beautiful. Again, similar deal. Give us a couple more fall and winters, get this one in more people's hands, and I think sky's the limit. So I think at the beginning of the video I said 5, but we actually have 6 here, a little bonus, and we're going to end it with another iris scent. This one's completely different, which is really interesting, and we are in the iris trend after all, and so it makes sense. I don't think they're stopping anytime soon. There's definitely some big ones out there, and I think this has the potential to also do very well. CH-Men Passion. This one's got iris, sandalwood, olibanum. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's going to be hard. But the actual color of the liquid is it actually matches the kind of color of the bottle, kind of an ambery color to it, which is cool. It's a nice detail that isn't really necessary because you can't see a whole lot of the liquid itself, but it is there, and that's a cool little detail. You know, just something to point out. This is great. Dusty, powdery, smoky, a little bit of a brightness from the olibanum. So good. A little bit of a patchouli kick in here. Also has kind of a dusty, chocolatey kind of gourmand edge, but it's different. It's different than DHI, Gentleman Eau de Parfum, Valentino. It's different than those. There's something interesting about this one. A little bit more aromatic as well. I think this has the potential to do very well. I think that, you know, they messed up by discontinuing CH-Men PRIVE, which was a very good leather whiskey scent. This is definitely not going to take the place of that because it's not a leather whiskey scent. But I do think this could fill in and be another popular, successful, really well done scent for an affordable price, kind of like CH-Men PRIVE was. Now, it's not yet on discounters. I think retail was not unreasonable either. Don't quote me on it. 98 bucks, probably wrong. I just don't think it was as bad as a lot of other new releases have been. But once this does hit discounters and you can get it for typical Carolina Herrera fragrance price, I'm hoping to see this one in the $50, $60 range. I think it's going to be just a killer pickup. This one is very new. It's going to take a few years, but I think once people really kind of start to discover it, it's going to really, really hold its own. Alrighty guys, there we have it. It's actually 6 newer fragrance releases that I think have the potential to do very well and go very far. And again, you know, I'm not saying they're going to reach the level of, you know, CK1 and, you know, Polo Blue or whatever it is, stuff like that that's just in every dude's bathroom, or was at one point. But I do think, at least community-wise, you know, here for us, these have what it takes to kind of catch that hype within our little circle here and do very well in the future. Links will be down below. A few of these are going to be hard to get. It's not a problem. If you sign up to my mailing list at the first link down below and also send a text to the number down below, you will be opted in for notifications. Anytime something rare, discontinued, or hard to find comes into stock, I will send out a notification. It'll hit directly to your home screen on your phone, allowing you the opportunity to pick up whatever it may be before it sells out. That is, you know, Le Male Elixir when it hits discounters. That's L'Homme Privé when it comes back in stock on discounters. That's Dior Homme Parfum, which has been popping up semi-regularly here lately. La Nuit Bleu Electrique, The One Luminous Night, Dior Fahrenheit Parfum, Aqua de Jo Parfum at discounters. The list goes on. You guys got to get on the list. Make sure you are opted in to get those deals and have first dibs. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.